Welcome in, everybody, to the In Off the Bench podcast. My name is Jim Cross. Mike Hughes no-showed me. Daniel Ball's off today, so it's just going to be a solo episode. But, man, when you have a guest of this caliber, do you really need anybody but the one-on-one? But before we do, we got to plug the sponsors. Chinook Cedary, 8 flavors, mild to wild, the best in the game. Less salt, no sandpaper tongue. Jesus One Apparel. John 16:33, empowering young men and women, and of course, Old Dominic Distillery in the heart of downtown Memphis. But enough of that foolishness. Caden, Sorrell, how we doing today, man?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Man, fantastic. Obviously, running a little behind. It's been a crazy day, but I love talking baseball. I could do this all day. Love talking to elite guys like you, getting to know you. Obviously, you daggered me, last weekend. I could have been mad at you. I decided, you know what, man, elite dude. We'll move past it. I would have more preferred if it was Jace. I knew him a little longer. He's been on a couple episodes, but it is what it is. But I got to ask you, man, we were talking uniforms earlier, and take Texas A&M off the board. I want to ask you, because we just had a guest from Oregon. We just had a guest from North Carolina, Ole Miss. So I feel like we've been running down the uniform ladder. Who's your favorite uniform that's not Texas A&M?
Not Texas A&M. I don't know. I feel like there's quite a few teams out there with some pretty nice uniforms. I would say number one, I'd probably have to go with the Ole Miss Baby Blues. I think those are
you can't go wrong. I think the biggest problem I have, Caden, is everybody's trying to copy them. There's 8 sets of powder blues now, and it's Carolina has their blue, Ole Miss has their powder blue, and it's man, those are theirs. Leave them alone. But I will say, Liberty did a pretty good job, and there's some good ones out there. But if you didn't go blues, where are we going?
If I didn't go with the Baby Blues,
yeah.
Let me think, man.
Or let me ask this: we had a debate. Do you like Oregon's black uniforms, and really Tennessee has black? Are you a fan of when teams use the black, or are you like LSU and A&M are and traditionalists and staying away from the black?
I'm a fan of the blacks. I know A&M used to have some pretty nice black jerseys. I thought they were going to bring.
I like when your football team went blackout this year.
Yeah, the blackout was sick. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of blackout. Again, I thought we were going to do black jerseys this year because if you walk in our stadium, there's a podium and it shows a bunch of jerseys, and then there's the black ones there, and they look sick. So I'm a big fan of the black.
Yeah, I am too, and I liked Oregon's. Caden, I'll be honest, so as an LSU fan, it'll never happen. The people who put in the money will never. So alternate whites is the best we're gonna get, bro.
Yeah.
But let's get into your story, man. For those who don't know, obviously a Texas kid, but where in Texas?
I grew up in Dallas, Texas, Flower Mound, DFW area. Was born in Arizona, moved to Flower Mound when I was 4 years old. Grew up there pretty much my whole entire life.
Do you claim Arizona at all, or is it just where you were born?
Just where I was born, to be honest. I mean, I don't really remember anything down in Arizona. I know I used to play soccer. That's about my only memory from Arizona.
Well, I'm glad you brought up soccer first, because when you look up your family, naturally people will gravitate towards your dad and your grandfather first. But man, I'm not going to gloss over the fact that you got a sibling who can ball. So coming up, man, were you and your sister like an iron sharp as iron, pretty competitive in the house?
Yeah, we were very competitive. I mean, we used to. This was a terrible idea, but I used to be like a goalkeeper. And she'd kick soccer balls inside the house, and the goal was a glass door, and she would just full on 100% kick them, trying to make them. I don't know how the glass door never broke, but yeah, we were super competitive all the time.
Yeah, I imagine y'all made it. I mean, you got 2 collegiate athletes at the same time right now, because she's still at Georgia, right?
She was. She quit soccer. She tore ACL 3 times, unfortunately. Oof. So she quit soccer. Now she's down in D.C. doing some political job. I'm not.
So she got the brains and the athleticism. Did you get both also?
I mean, not to the extent she did. She's smart. She's really smart. I'm more of just the bronze, not much of the brains. But
I hear you. So let's talk about dad, granddad, and everybody else in between, man. Come from a baseball family. How much did that help you growing up, man? Having the men in your family, know so much about the game.
Yeah, it definitely helped a lot. I mean, growing up around baseball my entire life, both my grandfathers playing in the major leagues, and it gave me a different outlook because my mom's side, Tom Griffin, he was a pitcher, pitched in the MLB for, I want to say 15 years or so. And my dad's side, Billy Sorrell, He was a utility player, played for the Royals. So I mean, it was kind of a unique outlook just to kind of hear a little bit from the pitching side and the hitting side as well. And then obviously my dad played baseball. Got drafted out of high school. Parents didn't want him to go that route. They wanted him to take the college route. So went to college, played a couple years. Then
Unfortunately, he was before an NIL era where you got rewarded to skipping out on the draft.
yeah, he missed out. But yeah, he was an outfielder. Got hurt, I think his junior year, and was done after that. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely helped a lot growing up in a baseball house.
Yeah, no doubt. I can only imagine. You know, coming up as a left-handed hitter, you know, obviously you got the people in your family. I don't know if they're specifically left-handed, but you got them teaching you. But the left-handed swing is just something that's special. Is there a hitter you grew up wanting to be like? Man, is there somebody that was special to you?
Yeah, I'd say like in high school, I was a big fan of like Christian Yelich and kind of Bryce Harper. I tried to model my swing after Bryce Harper a little bit in high school. A lot of people say it still kind of looks a little bit like Bryce Harper,
I can
which
see
I
it.
take that as a huge compliment because he's a stud.
I mean, y'all
But
both y'all
you know,
both hit nukes. I mean, I can see it.
yeah, yeah, thank you. I mean, but I mean, as I got into college, I kind of just, I had my high school swing, obviously, but I had to change some things in my swing because there's a big difference between high school and college. So I don't really try and model my swing after anybody now, but I mean, there's still a little bit of it from high school.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I said, it looks different off a lefty's bat. It was kind of fun this year in the same game from an LSU game in a midweek. John Pearson, who's a freshman, and Josh Pearson, who's a senior, both hit
Hmm.
a home run, and it was cool. One's a lefty, one's a righty, and
Yeah,
we were having the debate, and it's the lefty. So I was like, man, I got the righty went further. He hit it deeper, but I was like, the lefty looked better. So I'll always give credit to the left-handed side, but
that's
coming up in high school, you were ranked as the number 100 overall prospect, number 19 outfielder in the 2023 class by Perfect Game. Obviously, a lot of places to choose from. You are a Texas kid. Was it pretty simple that you were going to go to a Texas school, or man, did you actually explore possibly going outside of Texas?
Yeah, I always wanted to stay in Texas. And born and raised, or not born and raised, but raised up in Texas. So I kind of wanted to stay closer to home. So I knew Texas. I knew somewhere in Texas was going to
So what,
be.
so what made it A&M with the decision to stay in Texas?
Um, I mean, I went to a camp. I think my sophomore or junior year in high school. I went to an A&M camp and just kind of fell in love with the campus. And one of the biggest reasons that I loved A&M so much was because of Mike Early. I think he's an amazing coach and also an amazing hitting coach, and he really knows the hitting side of it. So that played a huge part in it, and just the environment around here. I really don't think it gets much better than this. And obviously
I
the
mean,
tradition.
I've had the best of the best pitchers come on here. I go back all the way back to when we were first starting in 2021. Landon Sims, who was absolutely an elite closer, said there was never a louder place he had to pitch at. And this cat, pitched everywhere in the SEC. And I've heard that numerous times since. I was actually gonna, come to the series for LSU. Wasn't able to make it, but I heard that Karina Anderson, Kate Anderson's mom, told me, that crowd gets loud, and so, it's an electric place to play. You definitely want them on your side, not against you, so to speak.
Yeah, no, it'd be terrible to play against them. I can't even imagine it.
But man, that's a good reputation to have, an environment. Y'all's fall ball game this past season, or coming into this season, man, like 8,800 something. It's crazy, crazy numbers, and so I think you definitely picked the right destination. And then you talk about Coach Early. I didn't know until Grahovac came on, just how much he meant to y'all, that he helped in the recruiting process. A lot of times they don't talk about that as much and give credit, and we hear it all the time from all the different schools. We hear a lot of the assistants played such a key role, and so when he became the lead man, it made sense that y'all all pulled from the portal. But going into last year, you made 62 appearances, but the starts came with Mississippi State series, and you became a full-time starter. And man, y'all obviously made waves all the way to the final game. Just how much fun was last year, even though y'all came up short, and the fact that you got to be in that lineup full time, in a lineup 1 through 9 that could just absolutely swing it.
I mean, it was a feeling like no other. Especially again, like I don't want to keep rehearsing it, but playing in front of the 12th man, it really is special, and it's something that you're never going to forget. And
And y'all brought that 12th man to Omaha. I was there. It definitely felt 50-50 as far as Tennessee and Texas A&M in that final series. And I mean, that ball four, ball five chant got just as loud as I feel like. I mean, you think about it from an attendance perspective. If you're half full on a 25,000, I mean, you're more than you actually would have at College Station. So I mean, you're getting your full fan base there when they're into it.
yeah, no, it's crazy. The 12 man always travels really well, which again is one thing that I love about this fan base. But just touching on a little bit of last year, I mean it was amazing to make the run that we had, and be able to experience all that stuff, and going to Omaha. Like, I remember going to games when I was like, I think I had a 13U like travel ball tournament down there when I was 13, and I went to an Omaha game, and it was always a dream of mine to be able to play there, because just seeing how many people are there and all the people who are engaged in it, and I mean it's just
Yeah.
an unreal feeling. And when you step
When
out on
they
that
call it the
field,
greatest show on dirt, man, my host, I've been 5 years in a row. He made it for the first time, and he got to watch you guys, and he was like, man, I can't believe I haven't been coming with you every year. Like you said, it's an event like no other, and I think the opening weekend is probably cool just because you have fans that come no matter what team is there, right? And then as you dwindle down, you start to get the fan bases start loading, and they know their team's going to be one of the Final Four. They all
yeah,
start loading in, and it really is cool. And like you said, as a kid, so many guys that come on here, it should be every kid's dream. If you don't see yourself playing in Omaha, what are we doing? That's the reason you go. You don't go to say, oh, hey, we're going to try to win a conference championship. No, you go because your
all in
team
all,
you want to go to Omaha.
yeah, for sure. I mean it's just crazy, crazy. I can't even describe the environment, and how I felt when I was out there. It was surreal, truly.
I know the nerves. Anybody who said they didn't have some nerves, oh man, I've stepped out on that field just to interview somebody. I can only imagine what it's like to swing that bat or
Yeah.
catch the ball, man. It's definitely got to be nerve wracking, at least when you first get out there.
Yeah, I mean, the first game, it kind of helped a little bit because it was like weather delayed. It was supposed to be at 7 o'clock, and then I think first pitch was at like 10:15 or 10
Yes.
10:30, something crazy.
We actually showed up late to your game somehow to like because we got caught up waiting on food and all that because we were in the weather delay because we honestly didn't know if they'd play, but Omaha's not very big on doing games the next day. They will start late. So yeah, once they were like there now, so I was like, man, we ain't even got our food yet, but we got there in time to watch Jace Robin, and then that's the facts though.
Yeah, that game was
That was a cool ending. It's
yeah.
something that I haven't actually talked about with the last couple of guests because they're transfers in. They weren't with y'all last year, but
Mhm.
man, what a way to There's three walk offs in the first three games, and then y'all walk it off by Robin and Caden. Like, golly, man. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know if
that
next
first
year
game was
or
crazy.
this upcoming year, no matter who's there, I don't know if they can match the way Omaha started this past season.
No, I think it'd be hard. I mean, yeah, three walk-offs, and then what Jace did in that game was just
I told
absolutely.
Jace his was the best one just because it was the only one that was that way. Like robbing a home run to end a game is, I had to ask the question, what's better, hitting a home run or robbing a home run? And he actually said maybe robbing a home run. It felt pretty
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I've never been able to rob a ball for game on the line, but I can only imagine. I mean, that'd be crazy.
Yeah. So coming into this season, man, a lot of expectations. Do you when they put you on the covers of a magazine as a team and there's all these things, man, is it business as usual or do y'all actually, man, do you feel the pressure of when the whole country like has these expectations for you?
I mean, me personally, like I never. I mean, I think pressure. Like I like playing under pressure. I don't know why. I just kind of that's just how I am. Like I
I
like
seen
when
that
there's
in the bottom of the eighth inning against LSU that you like the pressure. I can understand that. I now know that you thrive under that situation. I appreciate that.
I apologize. I don't mean I don't
No,
mean to
hey,
make
no,
you.
the only way to be okay with it is to have fun with it. I know. At the end of the day, I always appreciate good baseball, and that game was a good game. And I joke and I say, but if you can hit like that in that situation, clearly pressure doesn't bother you. But you did have to start the season. Obviously not there. For those who don't know, what was the injury and how long were you out?
It was a hamstring tear. Was out for I think 28 games. I think that was it. Um, but yeah, hamstring tear.
But I mean, you came in and hit the ground running, pun intended, like, and and I got to see you in Tennessee, and the whole team unleashed something, game 2 and game 3, but you were a massive part of it. How much fun was it, man, when y'all got to go into Knoxville, a team that did beat y'all last year on that stage, and to, man, not just win, but win the way y'all did in such convincing fashion.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely felt great just to get a little bit of a revenge. I know the stakes weren't as high. It would have been nice to do that in Omaha, but it's baseball, happens. But yeah, I mean, it felt great, especially starting off and getting no hit by Liam Doyle,
I mean,
who's
yeah, y'all shocked the world. Me and Jack, I know because Jack interviewed you, but me and him talked to that first game, and he was like, man, like when I bought these tickets, like I did not expect this, and so, y'all just fooled us a little bit, a little magic trick with that no hit game first.
Yeah, no, I mean it was a great response by the team. And again, one thing that I love about this team is, we don't ride the downs. Like when things aren't going well, like we flush it, we move on, and we tackle what's in front of us, and that's what
And that's
we're
why I
gonna do
expect
this
a big
weekend.
bounce back this week. Y'all got
Yeah.
resiliency like any other. I mean, y'all have kind of been like that all year. Bounce back and forth, and that's why, like, I'm sure you like this spot. People are already writing you off. Cool, bet. Like you just
Mhm.
said, you like the pressure. I know Jace and Hayden and all you guys, and Ryan Prager, and so I expect big things. But I did want to touch. You don't seem like an individual kind of guy. You're a team guy, but man, 333, 11 home runs, 29 RBIs, and the reason I bring it up is in 37 less games, Caden, I don't know if you looked at it, but you have the same amount of home runs and you only have 5 less doubles. The only thing you're hurting on is you had a lot of triples last year.
Mhm.
And it might be the hamstring not running as fast, but no,
Yeah.
your stats your batting average is better, but I mean, like, how do you feel, individually, because you're doing better, with less games this year statistically than you were an entire season. So are you feeling pretty good about how you've done this year?
Yeah, I mean, I feel great. I put a lot of hard work in the off season, working on getting bigger, getting stronger, which I think is a big reason as to why I'm hitting a little more homers, just because I took a lot of time to focus on making my body as strong as I could, and was able to do that. So it feels good knowing a little bit of the hard work paid off. But again, there's more work to do, and I'm not really satisfied with any number. I just want to keep going, and you know keep
Well, I
keep
mean,
riding
I'll
off
tell you
hard.
this: you're doing something right, because Mike was going to talk about, because he works in the MLB, and he pays attention to mock drafts, and man, you're anywhere between 5 and 25 on numerous different mock drafts. So you're doing something right, because your stock for next year in the draft is going up. And the only thing I was going to ask you about it, because I'm intrigued, that obviously as an LSU fan, you had Cruz and Skeens, and I'm not even necessarily saying number one and number two, but like, do you and Grahovac ever talk about the idea of possibly, like, man, how cool it would be to go in like the top 10 together?
Yeah, we've talked about it a couple of times. We make jokes about it. Yeah, I mean we do that all the time. We kind of joke
I
about
mean,
like as
you
long
can fool
as
us not to. I know it sounds arrogant, but like, I mean, y'all are there on the boards and y'all do have the talent to do it. So as teammates, man, it's a cool accomplishment.
it is, it really is, and it sucks not having Gavin for this year because obviously, I mean, he's a stud of a baseball player, and some people may be forgetting that a little bit just because he's not
Yeah,
playing.
he's sliding a little on the draft board, which tells me that they are forgetting, and they're gonna get
Yeah,
reminded.
yeah, they'll remember soon enough for sure. Because I mean, he's a stud, and one thing I love about him is obviously he's a great player, but he's even a better person off the field. So I mean, he's
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, I would remind people that as we talk about this general conversation, obviously this season's not over, but A&M fans got a lot of excitement. Just you're not even going through the whole roster, but you two guys alone are, man, a foundation to build any team around. But staying on this season, I'll ask, man, what's the message going into this weekend? Because y'all know, backs against the wall. We talked about the resiliency. What's the message? Basically, nothing that's come before this weekend matters. You just got to take care of business.
Yeah, I mean, again, like we're good at flushing stuff that's happened in the past. We started the season off not great, but again, we were able to flush it. And moving on to this weekend, I mean, there's no stress on us. Like we went to Tennessee,
I mean,
took
your RPI will speak for itself. If you take series from Tennessee, LSU, and Georgia, like, there's no doubt in my mind you're in a regional. So you take care of it, and you still have the SEC tournament where you can stack wins. And if there's any team that I think get hot and run through it. So I mean, it really is as simple, Caden, as if you take care of business, man, y'all control your own fate, and so
Mhm.
it's on y'all to take care of business. And Georgia, they can rake, but their pitching staff isn't one that I just feel like can mow down your lineup. I think I still believe in y'all to take this weekend. I've been picking y'all. I've never backed off of it. I've taken some heat at times, obviously taking some heat right now, but I'll still stand firm. I think y'all go into Athens and take care of business.
Yeah, I mean, that's what everybody expects here. I mean, we know the team we got and the talent we have. We just gotta go out there and put it on full display for everyone to see. But again, I mean, there's no stress on us. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna play our level of ball this weekend, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I do have one negative note I want to bring up because I saw his tweet, man. Troy Wansing, which we had on this show, man, had to retire, man. How's the team rallied around him? A guy who was really, looking forward to coming back, and man, just had that back injury that plagued him, man. Have y'all been able to surround him, make him feel, the best you can considering the circumstances?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it really does suck, having, an amazing pitcher like him that, can't, he had a back injury, nothing he could really do about it. And, he'd been working really hard trying to rehab it, doing everything he could to make it feel good. He did that all last year, and he's been doing it this whole year. And, it just got to the point where, he wasn't able to make a full recovery on it. And, it sucks. But again, I mean, he's found many ways to help the team out. He's a great teammate. He's always there to support everybody on the team. So, he's finding his way to help the team out. And, again, it sucks not having him on the
Well,
field.
I know he definitely believed he was, like, because he came on the show and talked about it, and I don't think if you're not gonna, you don't think you're gonna come back. I don't think you come on shows and start talking optimistically, right? Like I feel like that'd be a set of fair. So I think he truly believed that this was gonna all work out, and for whatever reason it didn't. But like you said, opportunities come to be a good teammate. You obviously go to Texas A&M and you get your degree. So I mean, opportunities, whether somebody who wants to stay in baseball, do coaching, or wants to go out into the workforce, he's got something to fall back on. But
Yeah.
man, I want to ask one more question, and then we're gonna play a game. Jace Laviolette, man, you get to play with this guy, and obviously, just like the team, it's had some ups and downs. But man, just how good is this guy? Because I still believe in this team. The draft boards, I tell people still, I take this guy 1-1.
Mhm.
Man, make your pitch as his teammate on why he's still that guy.
I mean, he's proved it, throughout his whole time in college. Some people want to say he's having a down year, which down years happen. I mean, but you look at the past 2 years, he puts up, I don't know, 22 home runs as a freshman, and then last year puts up 28 home runs. And I mean, he's got, I think, I don't know how many career homers he has, but he's got a lot. And
I mean, we talked about the defense aspect earlier. Like he's a 5-tool guy because he can run.
Yeah, he can run, he can field. He's got a cannon of an arm, and obviously he can hit. So everyone knows he's a 5-tool player, and I don't see anybody with the 5 tools that he has, the caliber he is. Like I don't think there's.
I mean that was my thing. You know what's there, and so people talk about down here, like you said. That's going to happen with anybody in baseball across the board. I mean, I remember when Dylan Cruz had, a down point during the 2022 season, and he still went number 2, and he's still all the way up in the show. And so I have no doubt. And I just wanted, I don't know, I knew that already. I just kind of wanted some reassurance from his boy that I know he's still that guy. I would take him and Holiday are 1 and 2, however you want to go about it. And obviously Holiday's really just because the name, like, it carries weight, and apparently it does matter because his brother can ball, his dad could ball, so tough to go.
I mean, me personally, like again, I'm taking Jace over anybody with the first pick, like not a question in my mind.
It's proven.
I don't think 1 year can really, bring him down.
Even still, it's funny. His off year is better than 90% of people's on year. I mean, act like he hadn't had big time numbers and big time games this year. And really, man, he's had some clutch catches again. Like, hey, his ability to lay out and dive for a big boy, I'm impressed.
Yeah, I mean, people can say it's an off year, but at the end of the day, like he still has, I think 18 homers, and there's more baseball.
And it ain't done yet. And hey, this weekend he could be up to 21, 22 for all we know.
He could, no doubt.
All right. Well, we're gonna end this thing with a game. We changed it. We played this or that for 12 seasons. You're now the fifth guest of this season. We've been playing a new game. Everybody loves it. I
Let's do it.
change what we do it on based upon the guests and certain dynamics. But with you, I'm gonna do actually the same one I did with Ben Zobrist earlier. But we're blind ranking baseball movies. I got 5 random baseball movies going to come in a random order.
All
You
right.
don't know what they are, but you're going to rank them based upon what you may think is coming.
Okay. So 1 through 5.
Right. So one being the best movie, 5 being the worst.
All
We'll
right.
start Major League, man. Where are you putting Major League?
I'll put that at 4.
4. All right. Bench warmers.
Bench warmers. It's tough. I'm gonna go 3.
So do you know that movie well?
I mean, I used to watch it all the time as a kid. I haven't watched it in a while,
The,
but
the
I
reason
know
I bring it up
it's
is
really
fun
well.
fact, and I didn't even realize it in real time until Luke Lipsius talked about it on his episode a couple years ago. That play where he put his finger on home plate, he actually was doing that because of the movie. And the problem is nobody can hear him go boop when he does it. And so when he tells that story, I'm like, that's now you went from like a villain to one of the funniest players ever because that he was channeling his movie. So because he said that was his favorite, so it's pretty cool.
That's funny.
All right, Field of Dreams.
Ooh, I might have to go 1 with this one. Yeah, I'm gonna go 1 with Field of Dreams.
All right, Sandlot.
I was scared you were gonna say that. 2. Yeah, that would
What
be my
makes it
number one, but
fun?
I'll put that 2.
You going 2? So what do we got left? 5.
Yeah.
All right. So last but not least, you got Moneyball going in the 5 spot. Are you okay with that?
Uh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put Moneyball at 5 if I was able to redo the order. But
You
yeah, I
slide
guess
Major League into
5.
5, I assume, because you had that 4.
Yeah, I'd
Is
probably move that one
so
down.
Sandlot. So Sandlot would be number 1, though. I take it based upon your response.
I'd go Sandlot, and then I'd go Field of Dreams, and then I'd keep Benchwarmers there, and then Moneyball, and then
There are so many. What makes this one interesting is because you don't know what 5 are coming because there's so many good baseball movies. We were actually talking about it, and that's what makes this category fun. There's only maybe a few good movies in every other sport, but baseball, there's literally like
there's
50.
a ton. Yeah.
But I do have a question because earlier it was funny. I put Hardball in the 5 movies along with Rookie of the Year because we were obviously talking to a Chicago Cub. I had a Chicago personality hosting, and Ben Zobrist had not seen Hardball, and I thought Mike was going to lose his mind, and it was funny. And I said, Mike, more guests have not known what Hardball is than it was. So I asked you, have you seen Hardball?
I'll be honest, no, I have
See,
not.
that's great. See, and most people haven't. And I think Mike's going to have to, send out homework assignments across the country so people can see his movie. But it is a good movie. What I tell people, if for any reason it was Michael B. Jordan's first movie, and that's actually what put him on the map. So
Oh,
it's him
I
and
didn't know
Keanu
that.
Reeves. It's a underprivileged team. He's got to coach them for he's in debt is the best way to put it, and so it's actually pretty good. But I've been telling everybody it's worth watching, but it's funny, and you're now the 5th person we talked to about it. 4 out of 5 haven't seen it, but
Yeah.
it was
What's
funny
it called?
because Ben
Hardball?
Douglas is like a hero to him, and here he
Yeah.
was. He's like, "Are you kidding me, Ben?"
It's called Hardball, you said?
Yeah, it's like I said, Keanu Reeves is the main actor, and he's coaching a team in the hood. I guess is the best way to put it, and they're underprivileged, and so it's a good heartfelt story, just like any
Yeah.
other baseball movie, except for like Little Big League when King Griffey rips your heart out, robbing the home run catch. You've seen
Yeah.
that one, right?
I
Well, if
don't
not, I
think
just played major spoiler. Were the kids the manager?
Oh, yeah. I have seen that. I have
Yeah,
seen
because
that.
they make King Griffey the villain, which is funny because like he was the most loved baseball player at the time.
Yeah, I think I forget just because I haven't watched a lot of those movies in a really long time, and, it was, a lot of those movies I watched, growing up as a child, which is why, I love
Well,
them so much. I'd watch a ton of baseball movies with my dad
Well, the
just 'cause.
one we all need to go back and watch. Apparently, they were talking about the other day. Angels in the Outfield. Apparently, every ball player in that movie is actually somebody famous. They just weren't famous at the time,
Huh.
and so I think that's pretty funny because you usually don't. You just remember the kid and the angel, right?
Yeah.
But because I hadn't seen that one since I was a kid, but there really are. There's
Yeah.
hundreds. one of these days I'm just gonna when baseball's over, I guess I'm just gonna binge watch a bunch of them, and
I might
then
do
I'll have to make my own list.
yeah, I might
But
do
before I cut you out of here, man, anything you want to plug or promote? I don't know if you got any NIL things or any charities or anything like that you might want to shout out.
No, I can't think of any right now.
All right, well, man, for those who don't know, I was just talking about it. Check it out. They are going to Athens, to Georgia. Season's on the line. Georgia's got a lot to play for. SEC baseball, it doesn't get better. I think this is the biggest series of the weekend, hands down. So y'all make sure to check it out. Hopefully, Caden, Sorrell, and Jason company take care of business. But man, I appreciate you coming on, Caden. I hate I was solo. We didn't get to have the full cast on here, but man, glad to get your story out there for the people.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. That's Caden Sorrell, everyone. If you like hearing his story or you just like hearing average Joes talk X's and O's, please like and share on Facebook. Retweet us on Twitter. Listen, subscribe, all that good stuff on Apple, YouTube, and everything else in between. We'll be back to tonight, man. Hopefully my host will be here, but we got Griffin Hugas from Miami Baseball. But in the meantime, remember, strong body, sharp minds, grit and grind all the time. We are out.